Hello everyone. In the last class we have discussed about design for strength. So, what are the different types of stresses are there, how we will test based on what type of machine we are using to test the material, and after that how we will know the strength of the material, right. So, these are the points we have discussed. For that continuation today I am going to explain that the stress strain diagram for the mild steel. So, here what is stress, what is strain, we came to know in the last classes, right. So, now today I am going to take one material, so that is mild steel material. So, here I am going to take, this is the mild steel material. From this I am going to take a universal testing machine. Okay. So, I am going to applying the number of repeated stresses on this particular material mild steel. So, I want to see what will be happening. Okay. So, therefore, here let me explain, that is the stress strain diagram for the mild steel. So, here this is the before applying the type of load and test. Okay. The material position will be like this. Now, here suppose we will take one graph. This one. So, initially I had taken one mild steel material. So, on that somewhat load 5 kilonewtons or 10 kilonewtons I have applied on this particular material, right. So, what will be happening? A design engineer always it's must and should, he has to know about what will be happening if the load is applying continuously. So, then only they are able to do the experiments, they are able to finally design the components, and also they are able to manufacture the components based on the limits, right. So, here in this particular specimen I am going to applying the some load. Initially it may be 5 kilonewtons or it may be 10 kilonewtons, whatever it may be, assume that. So, what will be happening? So, here in the graph I am showing you for the example. This is the graph. This is the graph where I am showing you. Let us take, this is the point A, O, and this is the point A, and this is point B, and this is C, and this is D, and this is point E, and this is point F finally. Okay. Now, here initially I have applied 10 kilonewtons load on this mild steel element. So, what will be happens? So, here O2A, this O2A is called as proportionality limit. That means, here whatever the load we are applying, the stress is directly proportional to the strain at this particular stage. Therefore, here the OAE will be, we will getting the straight line, there is no change of the material here. So, that is why we are calling it as proportionality limit. After that, beyond that proportionality limit, I am going to increase the somewhat load. Okay. So, from 10 kilonewtons to 20 kilonewtons I have increased the load. Okay. So, then what will be happening here? Within the elastic limit, the stress is directly proportional to strain. That means, here it is holds good the Hooke's law. So, then what is mean by Hooke's law? Hooke's law is nothing but what Hooke's law states. So, Hooke's law states that, what Hooke's law states that? Hooke's law is nothing but always it is the stress which is directly proportional to the strain within the elastic limit. Okay. So, then after that I have increased the limit. So, the point A which is reached to the point B. So, that means, here this point A to B is called as elastic limit. This is called elastic limit. Then tell me, what is mean by elastic limit? What is the property of the material elasticity? See, elasticity is nothing but within the elastic limit, the stress is directly proportional to strain, means, so if you are applying the load 20 kilonewtons, after that sometime you have removed the load, even though the material has to regain its original shape and size. Okay. See, In the tensile stress, what we have applied? Two equal and opposite pulls we have applied. What will be happened here? So, the total original length will be changed to the delta L changed length, right. So, now here I am removing this 20 kilonewtons load. So, initially I have applied 20 kilonewtons here and here. So, I want to remove this 20 kilonewtons, then what has to happening here? So, again the bar will be coming to the original shape and size. Therefore, this will be called as elastic limit. So, within the elastic limit, the material has to regain its original shape and size after removing the particular load. So, that will be called as the AB. Okay. Now, I am increasing this load from 20 kilonewtons to 30 kilonewtons. Then, here I have increased the again 10 kilonewtons load. What will be happening here? So, here whenever I am increasing the load, so we have reached to the another point C and D, right. So, here what is mean by C, what is mean by D. So, here C and D are called as yield points. That means this is the plastic zone. Then what is mean by plastic zone? Plastic zone is nothing but if you are applying a load on this bar element, the total original length will be changed to the delta L, right. So, after removing of the load, it has to regain its original shape and size. But here in these points C and D, here the body which cannot regains its original shape and as well as the size. Therefore, where the body which cannot be regains its original shape and size after removing of the load also, therefore, that will be called as a plastic stage. So, here C and D will be called as the plastic stage. In this, C will be called as lower yield point and where D is called as upper yield point. Sorry, C is called upper yield point and D is called lower yield point. So, what is meant by upper yield point? What is meant by lower yield point? So, upper yield point is nothing but here wherever we have removed the somewhat type of load, it cannot regains its original shape and size, that means it reached to the plastic stage, right. So, that will be called as upper yield point, right. So, that means here this is under the plastic deformation, okay. And whereas coming to the lower yield point, so here D, at point D, lower yield point is nothing but here we are not going to applying any type of load, okay. We have removed and after some time we have observed even though the material is going to be the plastic stage continuously after some time also. So, therefore, whenever the material is reached to without applying any type of load also, even though the material is going to the plastic stage, there is a continuous deformation in the material. Therefore, that will be called as lower yield point. That will be called as lower yield point. So, that means here continuous complete plastic stage will be reached, but whereas in the case of C with the amount of 30 kilonewtons load, okay, there after removing this 30 kilonewtons load, there is a somewhat increasing of material will be there, length of the material, but at the point D, even though we are applying not at all any type of load, after some time also we are observing even though the material is getting the plastic stage continuously. So, therefore, continuous deformation will be there in the material up to certain time. So, therefore, that will be treated as lower yield point. Now, after that, after the yield point also I am going to increase my load. See what will happens. So, here even though I am going to apply the load 40 kilonewtons. So, what will be happening immediately? Again the body from D to E will be takes place. So, from D to E continue after continuous deformation also it has enough strength in order to not to get the breaking, right. So, here from D to E continuously again here I am applying the 40 newtons load, it has to reach us to ultimate stage. So, at point V we will call as ultimate stress. What is meant by ultimate stress? So, ultimate stress is nothing but it is also called as the design stress where we can apply the maximum load up to on the material, particular material. So beyond that, if you want to increase the load, maybe there may be a chances to get the breakdown of the material, or else to get the cracks on the material, or else the material may be subjected to the fatigue, failure, creep. So all these are parameters will come in the next stages, right. So therefore, where we can apply the maximum load on the material, so where it can give the maximum internal resistance to that material, that point will be treated as the ultimate stress. So whereas this ultimate stress we can also call as design stress, and also we can call it as safe stress, okay, because up to the point E we can apply the load safely. So we will that material will not affect anywhere, okay, we will not get any cracks formation, any deformation, we will not any permanent cracks or creep or fatigue like type of stresses we will not get anywhere. So this is called ultimate stress, and beyond that I want to apply some more load 50 kilonewtons. Then what will be happens, ma? So beyond that 40 kilonewtons load, I have applied the increased the 10 kilonewtons load. Immediately there may be a changes the cracks formation, or there may be a chances to get the breaking of the material. So that is called failure of the material. So this point F will be called as breaking stress. The point F will be called as the breaking. That means beyond the point E, if you are increasing the load, okay, what will be happening? There may be a chances to get the failure of the material, right. So here after applying the load here, we will get the permanent failure or cracks, whatever it is type. Then what we can know from this stress strain diagram for mild steel, if we conducted the one test, right. So what will happen? What will happen means, here from this graph, from this test, so we can also know that we can know that, and we can calculate the how much percentage of area is reduced. So area of reduction we can calculate. This is one point. So along with the capital A minus small a by capital A into 100, where capital A is the original area of cross section of the material, where small a is the reduced cross sectional of material. Therefore, capital A minus small a divided by capital A, that into 100. So from this point, from this graph, we can identify how much area is reduced from the material. So this is one point we can know from the this type of test, and also second point, how much percentage of cross section is reduced. That means, so that is with the help of capital L minus small l divided by capital L into 100. So based on this formula, we can also that how much length is decreased, area is decreased, okay. So therefore percentage area of reduction we can calculate, and also how much length will be decreased we can calculate, and how the material is giving its function in future also we can calculate. A design engineer must and should know how the material will function in future after doing the manufacturing or any component. So this is the initially we have taken the product, after applying the different types of the loads, we will get this type of points. Therefore lastly the material will get the material like this. So here it may be, there may be a chances to get the area reduction or cross section reduction, whatever we call, so, but the effect will be we will get. So this is all the points where we observed in the based on the UTM universal testing mission. So that is stress strain diagram for the mild steel. So but always we should keep in mind, as a design engineers, as a mechanical engineers, we should know the stress strain diagrams for the different materials, okay. So where is the elastic limit, where is the plastic limit, and where is the upper yield point, where is the lower yield point, where we will get the breaking stress, okay, what is the maximum stress, okay, which is the safest stress, all these we should know based on this type of graphical arrangements and conducting the different tests. Thank you all.